I'm Angeline Ong, and welcome to IGTV. And this is your special look ahead to the week starting the 11th of March. Now, we're barely into the middle of the month, but boy, what a lot has happened. And there's more to come. We've got in the following week plenty of economic news, starting with Japan Q4 GDP growth rate there. That's the final reading, though. But things are getting quite interesting in Japan, especially since the Nikkei is still at very high levels, and the Bank of Japan is making interesting sounds, which means that it could potentially be changing its monetary mood music quite soon. We also have the US inflation expectations. This is consumer inflation. Later on in the week, look out for unemployment figures, business confidence numbers out of Australia, unemployment rate from the UK, producer price numbers from Japan, and also the consumer price index out of the US, along with crude oil inventories too. On Wednesday, it's monthly GDP numbers and trade numbers from the UK that might move the dial, and industrial production numbers out of the Eurozone. And later on in the week, we also have US PPI and the Michigan, I believe the Michigan reading. This is consumer index. But prior to that, we have the producer price index and retail sales and initial jobless sales and business inventories too. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got those consumer sentiment numbers out of the US, but also pay special attention to China's house price index, given the markets were less than impressed with the recent stimulus laid out by China. Let's cross live now to Chicago, where we've got Anthony Batista waiting for us live. He's from Tasty Live, part of IG Group. It seems like still smooth sailing looking ahead, and Powell seems to have also stuck to the hymn sheet.
Yeah, nobody's going off script here. It seems like it's the perfect storm. Bonds have gone higher over the last couple of weeks, which was probably the last piece of the puzzle to complete this market where just about everything is going higher. You just mentioned commodities like oil and gold. Throw that in there. Gold has had a huge run in the market. The Japanese yen, you mentioned their policy changing there in the Nikkei. The yen has finally caught a little bit of a bid off of its bottom. So, man, it just seems like smooth sailing to new highs, at least here in the U.S. so far.
Speaking of gold, many of our clients are invested in gold here at IG and watching the surge with a lot of interest, especially this week. Are we going to see perhaps these rate cut hopes continue to ensure that gold continues to surge? And of course, we're coming up to the Indian wedding season as well, and the outlook from China looking robust. So could we see further longs to come?
Well, I wouldn't want to fight it until it had a downtick, and it's had 8 straight days of higher highs. So that's a very bullish pattern right now in gold. I am out of gold at the moment for my own personal trading. But man, I can't fight gold right now. These commodities have a way of moving, unlike some of equity markets where commodities get very streaky, and gold is in an upward streak right now.
Gold currently at 2166, just over that level. Thanks so much. We'll be sure to be checking in on that and loving the purple as well, because it is International Women's Day around the world today. Thanks so much to Anthony Batista there from Tasty Live, part of IG Group. Now, it's also a big week for earnings, although it is tapering off now. It's getting a bit quieter. I think traders are a bit relieved too, but we have still a few key names. Oracle out with third quarter earnings, and also on Tuesday, the ones to watch out for, Persimmon and Domino's Pizza. Persimmon, one of the very traded stocks on the IG platform. And then later on the week, it's Metro Bank, Balfour Beatty, the Gym Group, Adidas out with full year earnings, and Volkswagen and Dollar Tree out of the US, followed by, I believe, Dollar General, that's right, on Thursday. And Adobe is also out with first quarter earnings. Watch what it says about future income generated by its AI-driven services. Savills and Vistry also out with full year numbers. And that is a jam-packed week for what is meant to be a tapering off. But as Anthony Batista said earlier, it looks like it's still smooth sailing ahead if nothing changes, if everything still holds and remains the same in terms of for the markets. We'll be keeping a close eye for you, though. For more market analysis, do tune into at Angeline Ong on Twitter and at IGCom. This is IGTV.